Hey, Coach. Barry Odom was out there today. I don't know if you can comment on the recruit side of it, but what did you think about seeing Coach Odom out there? And was that a surprise? You know he's going to be there?
I knew he texted me yesterday and said he wanted to come out to practice, and it was really good to see him. When I had done a clinic talk for Nike, it was in Las Vegas, and I got a chance to go tour his building with him about maybe 4 weeks ago or something like that. But it was awful good to see him, and the kids enjoyed seeing him, and I'm awful thankful that he came to practice and for what he's done for our program.
I was curious about the wide receivers. Has anybody out of that group? You're going to be tempted to name all of them, I know. I just wondered if anybody has kind of jumped out to you and stood out. And also, I didn't notice Jaden Wilson out there today.
Yeah, I think let's start with your first question first. I think Bryce Stevens has been the one that's really stood out, along with Jaden. The older guys have. I'm very happy with our portal transfer guys that's come in. I think they're doing well. They're learning, and then the guys that we've had on our team, Satagna, Baque, those guys have done well as good. Now, Jaden Wilson, everything is perfectly fine with him. Okay, so I don't want to scare anybody, but he was in a car accident today. He's very, very lucky that nothing was wrong with him more than he cracked his tibia. So he will be on crutches for about 10 days, and then he will be back. I think that's maybe a 6-week deal after that. So he'll be through with spring ball. But I'll tell you, if you saw the cars in that, we're just thank the Lord that nothing worse happened. I don't believe anybody was hurt in the other vehicle as well.
Sorry to hear that. Tom?
Yeah, so I guess you put on pads on Thursday. What have you seen through 4 days in not pads, and how ready are you, do you think, to put on the pads?
Well, I was just a little bit disappointed in team run today. I didn't think the physicality was there what it had been the day before on Sunday. We started practice a little slow, I thought. I do think we're ready. Today was a pretty good install day for us. So we played what I thought was a little slow. That's probably to be expected on install. It's not what you want, but probably be expected. I do think we're ready. Now, what we're going to do on Thursday, we're going to have a segmented scrimmage. So we're going to thud, and then there's going to be two separate situations that they get six ones, twos, and threes get 6 tackles, 6 live reps apiece, and then there'll be 2 situations like that. So each one will get 12 reps, each 2 will get 12, each 3 will get 12 in a full live situation. I think we're ready for it. And we'll find out after the sub scrimmage, but we need to. The game's about tackling. We need to do that, and I think the kids are excited about it.
Do you have any veterans who are, have earned their way maybe out of the live tackling portion? I don't know, Rocket or anybody?
No, not this first time. I mean, we're going to practice the first time as it gets going on. Maybe take out at different points, but this first one we're going to play good on good.
I'm curious about your nickel situation. You got Lewis back in there today, but the numbers don't seem very high. Is there anybody else who's coming in, like when Bishop comes back, or say, is Singletary just a corner?
Well, Al was playing nickel before he got, in the walks. So we're really looking for Al to be that guy, to be, with J. Lou and those guys. And you're exactly right. We're thin there right now at the nickel position. I think when you have the 4 guys that are coming in, I think we'll have to either find another nickel or we'll insert Al in there, and that'll help us too when he gets back. But that's probably, we could move a weak safety. It's just a size factor. Some of them guys can't go in there and play it. I think we'll find out a little bit more about that when our other four guys get in here, though, to be honest with you. But you're 100% right. That is the thinnest, that and D tackle. Those are the two thinnest spots we have.
Yeah, and then when Bishop comes back, he's had some good work at corner at nickel for you in the past. What do you envision for him when he gets back?
Well, I think the hardest position to play out there is corner. So I think, we would certainly look at him some at corner, and then allow us to take one of those corners and move him to nickel. And then we'll look at him at nickel as well. But I think the number one thing we want to find out is who our best corners are. And then after that, we'll move to another position. But I think the corner is the hardest position we have. So we want to give him an opportunity to see if he can start at corner first. And if he can't, then we'll move him into nickel.
Andrew Hutchinson wanted to ask about Isaiah Satania and Ty Washington. Do you feel like those guys are playing with like more sense of urgency? It's time to hit the field for those two in particular?
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys were at bowl practice. It's kind of like bowl practice, where they kind of stepped up. They'd been, kind of not in games, knew they were going to get an opportunity to play. So I think they're doing a really good job. I'll tell you, Luke Has is having a really good 5 days as well at tight end. But that's a position, that we don't have a lot of experience at tight end. So I think Tyrus has really stepped up there, and I think Luke will do a good job there. And Satanian has done a nice job too.
Otis.
Sam, when I talked to Braun when he committed to you guys, he told me he didn't like playing tackle. He was a guard, but I saw him at right tackle today. Is that just an experiment with him, or is it just a deal where if you may play him at tackle?
Well, I will say this, that he's played really well at guard. I mean, really well. And what we're doing right now is we're trying to find out who our top 5 are. You know the answer I was going to give you, but more importantly, or as important to that, we're trying to find out who that best right tackle is if whoever the starter is gets dinged up. Is that the move out there? And if you've seen it, we've played a little bit of musical chairs almost every place. And certainly there's some thoughts behind that. The portal's one of them too. You've got to keep these kids with ones and different things, keep them alive, and you also have to give them opportunities. And so that's what we're doing. But Braun moving out there today, that was his first day. And I haven't had a chance to watch film yet, but we'll see how that goes. But that's really more, honestly, I think he's a guard for us. And I think that's really more to see, hey, are we a little bit deeper at guard, and can we move him out to tackle if it was a necessity?
On the transfers, has any of those, I think Trey or Tom one kind of hit on the receivers, but have any of those transfers maybe taken a step up quicker than you thought they would? Maybe Snacks or some of the others?
I'd say Snacks has done really well. I mean, he's a good corner now. He's a good football player. And, right off, Greer has helped us at linebacker. And then you got those 2 defensive ends that are really good players. I mean, Jeff Coates a really good player, and John Morgan is a really good player. So those 4, I can't remember who else we have over there that I haven't spoke of on defense. But tell you what, Snacks is better than what I thought he was at this point. Jeff Coate, John Morgan, and Greer, they're all going to help us a lot. They were really good gets.
You guys had a lot of success out of the portal. I mean, you haven't had very many misses there, and it looks like all these kids are pretty much hits too. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, we try not to evaluate much on high school tape. We try to get it off of what they're doing and basically see their athletic ability, and then try to get to know them so we can find out if they'll fit in our program. And, we've had a lot of success with guys who maybe not necessarily having the success that they wanted at their prior school, and they come here and, they're doing really well. So we just got to keep hitting. But it has been a lot of fun to see these guys come in the program, and the kids accept them, and they earn their way to whatever position they're at right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Tom, do you have another one?
Yeah, I do. Have any of the early enrollee freshmen caught on and is practicing faster maybe than you expected?
Luke
You
has.
talked about Haas, yeah. So anybody else?
That's the guy that I think has really come on. Oh, I'll tell you what, Jacoby Criswell's doing well too. You know, he's a guy that came in at quarterback, doing well, learning the offense. The freshmen, I like some of those DBs now, Metcalf and Braxton and Dallas Young. Those guys, there's somebody else over there too that's young that was Snacks, I guess was new, but those guys are doing a really good job. Oh, Dylan has. Those guys, we did well with that secondary group. Great kids as too. And then the linebacker group, I tell you, the guy, you know, Spence and Dean. Dean's really coming on too. So I like that group. They've done a really nice job for us. These 12, they're never in trouble. You know, we haven't had to discipline them in the morning. They just been a really those 12 guys have been a really joy to have on the football team. I mean that. It doesn't hurt that they're really good. I think they're going to be really good players.
Hey, just watching the one-on-one receiver DB stuff, it looked like Andrew Armstrong won almost every rep he had. Nice cuts. I don't know how much of that you got to see, but man, it looked like he had arrived out there.
Yeah, and he's smooth. I mean, he's a big, smooth guy, and he's ran 22. You know, on the catapult, and so I mean, the guy can run. He's big, good-looking receiver, and got really good hands. So again, I think, to be honest with you, I think he's playing a little bit faster in those one-on-ones than what he is in team right now, because I think he's still spending a little bit with formations and his responsibility. But you've seen it, and I have too, that he's very, very talented.
My final thing is, you mentioned install today. When you come back from spring break, still a good bit of install left to do, or where do you stand there?
Yeah, I think in the spring, especially with two new coordinators, I think we'll probably install up to probably somewhere around practice 10. We'll be half of that. I mean, you know, we'll be to 5 on Thursday, and then after that, we'll probably quit doing that. Now that there'll be situational install at that point with goal line and short yardage and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the offense, defense, I would imagine we'll be done with about 5 practices left in spring.
Oh, and I mentioned one other thing. Are you satisfied with the way you set up spring, that you got these, you're going to get these 5 in before you go to the break? I mean, has it worked out like you wanted it to?
I hope so. I mean, we've had good practices, so that's obviously a positive. As you know, I don't like practicing on Sunday, but we did to get these kids at least a half a day onto their spring break itineraries. I think that question will be better answered whenever, you know, we're trying to push 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks, you know, and 4 weeks instead of 6, basically. Well, no. I guess we're going 5 instead of 6, adding those extra practices. But we'll see how it happens. I'll be perfectly honest with you. The reason we're doing it is I wanted to be completely through with spring ball when the portal opened.
Ray, wrap us up.
Yeah, Coach, how's Torian Carter and Eric Gregory looking, 2 inside guys coming back from injury?
Well, Eric, we held him a little bit in team situations today just because he's not playing as fast as what we feel like he's capable of doing. So we're trying to hold him a little bit and maybe get him a little more healthy. Now, he went through Indy and things like that, but in a team situation, we're trying to hold him to see if we can't get him to Thursday. Torian, you know, I love Torian Carter. He came up to me as we were getting ready to do pods, and he said, "Coach, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little nervous." And so they did what we call hog drill, and one of the defensive guys he was blocking basically another defensive guy, and a guy slung him, and he landed, kind of on that knee. And I was watching him, and I think he was kind of testing it and things of that nature. And to be honest with you, I asked him about it today, and he said it's exactly what he needed. That he needed that hit on there, and he said he was fine the rest of the way. And he's been playing well. But I love him, and I'm so proud. And actually, we mentioned that in our team meeting about, he'd been a long way back and has been doing a really good job and survived the first day of pads. But I think he's going to be a really good player for us. And I do think that you're going to play a little slow coming back from that ACL at the beginning, just sort of like Landon Jackson did last year. But I think he's going to be just fine. I'm really happy for him.
We can see Jacoby Criswell's arm talent, and we know he can run and stuff. How is he working in being a veteran guy now that he's 3-4 practices with you?
I think you'll see more of his leadership as soon as he's comfortable with knowing exactly what he's doing. Very, very bright, and can run. The athlete that we thought he was. I'll be honest with you, I think his arm talent's better than what I thought it was, and he's got a strong arm. But he is, he's an older guy. He's been there. That at practice. He's helping out Malachi as much as he possibly can. But I think right now, you'll see a little bit better leadership because he's got that quality to him as soon as he fully understands the offense.
You filled out a bracket?
So, oh no, we get fired or something like that. So.
Oh yeah, I guess that's gambling if you put money on it.
Yeah, I like the horses. That's legal, but the rest of it I can't do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good day.